I think the Humber Seafood Institute is great about innovation, development, training, developing new trade routes, developing new fish species that we can find around the world that we don't know about. Brings employment to the area, of course, but more importantly, it brings technology. You know, I've been hearing about these fantastic freezing systems where the fish can be frozen within 4 hours on the boats, no deterioration in cell matter or protein. If I could get that, I'd use frozen food, because I can't get fish that's only 4 hours old. So that's very exciting to me. But the actual also is trying to educate the British public that fish shouldn't come in little square boxes and only have a C or an H on the front of it, and that's cod or haddock. You know, there's some brilliant species around the world, and we should be looking at it.
Well, this is the realisation of a dream that we've had 15 years ago, and we've tried to develop over that time. The dream's changed because it was going to be an institute, National Fisheries Institute. Now it's National Seafood, because the emphasis in the industry has switched. It's no longer the catching side, that's now much less important, and it's shrunken. We've got to keep it going, but it's the seafood processing side, and the need to get the consumer in this country to eat more fish and to eat it from a sustainable catching resource like this Alaskan pollock here, which is sustainable.
In concept, it's been in train for about 7-8 years. From receiving money, as it's taken us probably 18 months, 2 years to actually get the building up and going. And I think it's a fantastic showcase of partnership. What we've done with Yorkshire Forward, the public sector, the industry leaders, to actually get this fabulous building up and going, which really helps us look towards the future for the industry here in Grimsby and across the Humber.
Essentially, we hope it will bring in the long run more jobs and secure the industry, seafood industry, our major industry here in Grimsby. It's part of a wider strategic view that we have of the seafood industry, our major cluster, that we want to grow that, and we want to grow that at the kind of the knowledge end of the industry with the research and development facilities that we have in this particular building. But it all fits in with our proposals for a seafood exchange, a logistics hub, which will be the next stage really as part of the Humber International Seafood Gateway concept.
Well, it means that there's a future for the fishing industry. It's part of a much grander plan to keep this traditional fishing industry alive and well, which has gone through a very difficult time over the last 40 years. And a lot of people now think, and I agree with them, that we can now go forward with fish. I mean, we can get the supplies, which is a critical issue, although you'll have to watch that very carefully. The demand for fish product is insatiable. I mean, its supply has been the difficulty of the thing. There's a lot of need for product development and scope for development to keep competitive, and this facility will contribute to all that.
To educate the public away from cod is going to be a generational thing. It's not going to happen overnight. It's all about educating kids in schools, getting them how to eat fish at school, showing them different varieties. We've got a big problem in the fishing industry with the public is they don't like fish there to look like fish. They want it to be looking like Captain Birdseye with little squares and fish breadcrumbs on the side, which is such a shame, you know, because if I see a fillet of fish, I can see supper on the table in about 10-15 minutes. And people have got to understand that fish is the healthiest fast food we've got. And that's the way I always try and explain it to people. We need to eat 2 portions of fish a week, one of which should be an oily fish. We don't. We're eating about 0.9 of a fish a week. And for those who are eating it 2 or 3 times a week, that means there's probably an awful lot of the public who aren't eating it at all. So we have to convince the public that for heart problems, we've got major health problems in this country, a lot of heart problems, a lot of diabetes, all that sort of thing. Fish is vital for the health of the nation.
What we're doing is just upgrading Grimsby, upgrade the fishing industry and providing a national centre, which is important. I mean, I want Grimsby to be in the lead.
Regarding the viability, fish will be expensive, certain species at certain times. Companies such as Young's are at the forefront, biggest in Europe, and they will have all the technologies, the robotics, anything else that you need, in fact, to improve efficiency of production. But we have got a logistics base here on Humber side, which is forefront, if you like, in the fishing industry, in the seafood industry in the UK. But the whole idea is to keep that as competitive as one possibly can. And the best driver of that normally is volume. So we've got to try and attract more volume and more business.
70% of all the fish that's processed in the UK is actually local here. So we might as well take advantage of the local companies for new innovations and new ways forward.
I think the sustainability aspect of our industry has to be looked at. An institute like this will look at it. We'll look at the ways we can develop new species in the public's mind.
Well, I already believe we're the market leaders anyway. We're the distribution centre of Europe for fish. We've got the largest amount of cold storage space in Europe. You know, the nucleus of the merchants are here, the processing's here, the fish filleters are here, frozen suppliers are here. So this is why this HSI should be here. And now even sea fish industry are coming here. So great, we're going to move forward, and I think we'll be number one.
I would see it at the centre of a vibrant, growing fish processing industry, which is recognised as a centre of excellence not just within our region but nationally, and increasingly across Europe and the rest of the world as well. And we've seen during the launch process today visitors from Indonesia, from Iceland, from Norway, from other parts of mainland Europe, and that is the thing that's really going to put us on the map.